Hi guys, today I'll be taking a look at a visually unique linear switch from Tecware, the Tecware Pearl Clear. Let's get started. Now, before I continue, a disclaimer, these switches were sent to me for review by Tecware. I was not paid to make this review and I did not ask or receive any compensation. Finally, impartiality will always be my top priority when making reviews, including this one. Now, the Tecware Pearl Clear is part of the Pearl lineup, which consists of 4 switches, 2 tactiles and 2 linears. This time around I'll be focusing on the Pearl Clear switches. Now, as the name implies, these indeed are clear switches with the switch contacts and the spring the only part that's not transparent, for obvious reasons. However, the clear nomenclature has been used for a long time, with the Cherry MX Clear being one of the first to use it in the 80s. But only the stem was clear, and even then it doesn't compare to today's transparent switches, though there would be progress. Later down the line, many years after the MX Clear, Gateron released the Gateron Clear with a clear-ish stem and housing, but it's still not quite what I have in store for this review. Now, these truly are clear switches, and there's no reason to call a switch clear without them looking like these. I mean, even I have to admit, these look bloody awesome. Now, in terms of pricing, these will go for $23 per box with 35 switches. And they should be releasing very soon in Singapore, Malaysia and the Philippines. And this is what they look like when disassembled. Feel free to pause the video. Now, let's move on to the switch categories. On-center key presses are smooth at normal and faster key presses, but many of them perform inconsistently when pressed at very slow key presses. Off-center key presses are even more inconsistent, especially at very slow key presses. These would definitely benefit from being lubed, as some of them suffer from minor binding, though at normal typing speeds it's not noticeable. Overall, at stock, these are average at best. I can't recommend these for those looking purely at smoothness. 5 out of 10. Now, according to the manufacturer, these switches have an actuation force of 60 grams at 2mm and a total travel of 3.5mm. Here's the force curve provided to me, which is accurate with the marketing material. Just note that they did change some figures after my first 2 Pearl reviews. It's nice to see that. Now, in terms of the actual key feel, I really like these. They remind me of the Gateron Black, which I really enjoy typing on, and that switch is supremely underrated in my opinion. Overall, if you're looking for a medium stiff or a slightly lighter MX Black level of weighting, this is a nice alternative, if you can find it. And if you can't, there's always the Gateron Black or the MX Black if you want something a bit heavier. Personally, I really like these for their weighting. 8 out of 10. Now, sound is the most uninteresting part of these switches. They're very standard, with an emphasis on sounding a little thin, but they have a good amount of clack. Essentially, this is the minimum a switch should sound to get a 7. And with that said, 7 out of 10. Now, take a listen and enjoy. Now, typing on these feel very nice. Yes, I did mention that they aren't the smoothest, but I also mentioned that that's only an issue when you type very slowly. At normal speeds, these are very good and almost all those imperfections disappear. Additionally, and I need to say this, the weighting really suits my preferences. I mean, sure, it could do with a slightly heavier spring, but it's nice enough that I could probably daily it and get used to it after a while. But that may not be the case for you if you like lighter switches such as the Gateron Reds, MX Reds or that sort of range. Overall, not much to complain about really. I'd recommend them if your main focus is on typing performance over anything else. 8 out of 10. Now, gaming, unlike typing, is much more varied, and these, well, they're pretty good depending on what type of games you play. You see, if you play slower paced games like a walking sim or games that require precision movements like bullet hell games, well, these aren't for you. It's their lack of smoothness that really bring them down for these types of games. However, if you happen to play fast-paced games or games that don't really require precision keyboard use like Osu for example, this is a reasonable option, especially given its price. 7 out of 10. In conclusion, these aren't just unique looking, they also perform pretty well too. Although the Gateron Black, its closest rival, feels-wise is available worldwide, and these sadly are not. The final score for this switch is 35 out of 50 or 70%. Anyway, next time I'll be taking a look at the last Pearl switch. Until then, take care and goodbye.